The Sweetness of Doing Nothing. La Dolce Villa is a Netflix original that takes place in Italy. If you couldn't guess it from the poster or the way I butchered that goddamn title, I don't know what to tell you. But if I haven't convinced you, then immediately when we see the Italian countryside, that convinces us that yeah, this takes place in Italy. Most importantly, in a small Italian village, just like every one that we've seen before, and any rom-com or any flick, where we have the most generic writing from ever before. Bonjour, bonjour. No, that's not Italy. I know, bonjour. Here comes a rom-com with its tropes like always. We have a man that lost his wife, and then we have a beautiful mayor, and then we have a daughter that wants to go somewhere, and we just have a bunch of generic shit that goes on. So yeah, if I'm not basically convincing you where this particular film is going and how I felt about it, then let me basically just slap you in the goddamn head. Ow, that's what this movie felt like, a slap in the head. It's not necessarily the worst thing in the world, it's just so painfully generic and more evidence that Netflix executives apparently looked at Hallmark executives and said, we can do that just with a bigger budget and, I guess, prettier people. I mean, I don't really know what else to compare this to except any generic Hallmark rom-com where basically we just get a guy that lost his wife. He's trying to stay connected to his daughter. A beautiful mayor. Volante Placido, who, yes, about the only thing this movie got right is falling for her. How could you not fall for her? Just look at her. She's trying to save her small village of Montezuma. I know that's not what it's called, but I'm going to call it Montezuma, because that's about where all these ideas are to be thrown, is in Montezuma. So this was directed by Mark Don't Call Me John Waters, because John Waters directed quite a few controversial movies, but Mark Waters has only done two good ones, Freaky Friday and Mean Girls. He also did Mother of the Bride, which was terrible. Absolutely terrible. He also did Vampire Academy, that I wanted to like, and I think that movie thought that it was supposed to be witty. It wasn't. The two writers have done a bunch of films, including Love Guaranteed, that I ended up enjoying due to the fact that Rachel Lee Cook, who I love and adore and appreciate, was in it, and actually it had life and energy and enthusiasm and like genuine feelings of happiness. And this just has Scott Foley, who's in Scream 3 as Eric, who goes over to Italy to try to stop his daughter Olivia, played by Maya Rafico. Rafico! I'm trying not to insult anybody from Italy. I'm really trying not to, but this movie kind of seems insulting to Italians, if I'm being perfectly honest, the way it does promotes its characters. She was in Do Revenge. Maya, that is, not Italy. I mean, Italy hasn't sought any revenge since Mussolini and Kennedy. They bit the dust, 1, 2, 3, and they aren't the cult of personality. So, yeah, after Olivia basically decides, hey, I want to just invest money that my mom left me in a villa, fix it up, and do some good stuff in a small Italian village where she's gotten to know everybody because the town basically consists of like 30 people. Her dad shows up to stop, and naturally the mayor, Francesca, again, the absolutely gorgeous Volante Placido. Jesus, again, Christ on a goddamn cracker, she's beautiful. Naturally, a romance blossoms. That's about your lot right there. There is no danger. There is no element of, oh shit, this feels genuine. There are three older ladies that are all named Antonia that are like the Sattler and Waldorf of the whole thing where they just sit at a fountain. And if the movie had just been about them, I actually probably would have enjoyed it because they were at least funny. Let me make it clear that the cast seems to be doing their best and they don't seem to be like phoning it in, and they aren't pissing on the material. It's just not very good, and the characters are all terrible, and this really doesn't do a service for Italy in general. I mean, yes, the gorgeous Italian scenery, not named Volante, again, but Volante, my God, again, I'm sorry, I can't help it, she's absolutely gorgeous. So, Italians like their coffee, and Italians also like to help each other out. And yeah, there's like one attempt at a plot twist that's thrown in the last like 30 minutes that doesn't fucking work at all. And other than that, is a generic rom-com that accomplishes nothing and features nothing genuine or decent or anything that you are going to remember, even if you write notes like I did. I'm struggling to remember, and I'm having to look at my notes because the movie is that bland, that generic. I didn't hate it. I was just bored. Bored to tears. Bored the Italian tits off of me. Anyway, I'm going to get into spoilers on Netflix. Yeah, there you go. So, yeah, despite the fact that the writers of Love Guarantee were involved in this, and again, the aforementioned director of Freaky Friday, the remake of Freaky Friday, that they are doing a sequel to for some goddamn reason, and Mean Girls, one of my favorite movies of the last 25 years, we get this. And yeah, there's this whole thing where Eric is calling a coworker named Zola, about doing some branding and stuff like that. There's a massive amount of exposition from Olivia where she basically mentions, hey, my dad used to love to cook, but then our mother got sick. And fuck cancer, let me just say that right there. Nobody should have to lose any loved one to that disease, or any disease for that matter. But, yep, Eric used to cook, but he stopped cooking when they were taking care of, Mia, I believe was her name, after she passed away. That would be hard to take care of somebody after they passed away. You probably should have done that before they passed away. Enough cruel jokes. Let's get back to this. So, obvious neon sign between Eric and Francesca, or Francesca, whatever. They are going to get together by the end of this movie. There's a character named Bernardo. I left my voice in San Bernardo, who basically has fallen for Francesca and does a whole lot of stuff basically as a way to get into her Italian dress or pants or whatever it is they wear over there in Italy. That being said, I do want to say that, she does look very nice in a couple dresses. That's a good bonus right there, and it is hard not to fall for her. Nevertheless, they basically get this house. It's a €1 deposit, but you have to deposit more money to clear all this up, renovate it. And Olivia's dream is to turn it into something, and this idea grows into turning it into an Italian restaurant. Also, there's this side gag of this couple at this Italian coffee shop always breaking up and then getting back together and whatever. And yeah, it wasn't funny the first time, and they go back to it at least 3 more times. So, yeah, there's this point where Scott Foley crashes this old bicycle trying to ride into town to look for these old records. The sweetness of doing nothing. Yeah, you're going to get nothing from this movie and you're going to like it. And yeah, the side gags don't work. None of it works. Whatever. The thing is look, there could have been something genuine between Scott Foley's character and Maya's character, but it didn't work. This didn't work at all. There was a guy named Giovanni or Gio or Giod or Geode. I'm just going to call him Geode. I'm just going to picture a rock trying to... the character might as well have been a rock, even though the actor did fine. He's trying to hit on Olivia, and they do end up getting together, obviously. Why wouldn't they? And there's this line, anything worth loving is worth fighting for. This movie got knocked out in the first round, probably with the first punch, and never got back up, and the referee never called for it, and said just keep fighting him and just keep poking him with a stick, and this fight will go on long enough so the bookies can actually get their money back. There is a line in this where Olivia's in town, and she's looking at something like, the couple's fighting, and Gio says, nothing good on Netflix tonight. Gee, it's like Netflix executives are aware that their content is generally just made to get views from suckers like me. The thing is, they put out some pretty good originals. This just isn't one of them. So, yes, there's this point where Scott Foley's character has decided to stay behind, invest his money, and help out and everything. And he gets back into cooking. He comes up with these ideas to maybe do these cooking classes. And also there's a side thing where Olivia is going to go to Rome to be get an apprenticeship for an interior design, interior decorator, whatever. Interior, I barely know her. And yeah, basically him and Francesca get together. There's this beach fun. Again, hard to resist. And he finally learns to open his heart and all this. And she also lost her husband. And she decided to become mayor because they trusted her. That was their first mistake. Nothing against the woman being a mayor. It's just I don't know if I would necessarily trust this particular character to get me out of a parking ticket. Now, San Bernardo basically gets jealous. He decides, hey, I'm going to get the deed to this house I'm going to find out, if there are relatives to this guy Mario, this old guy Mario that used to hold the thing. Oh, there was! And this couple shows up, and they're going to pull the thing right out from under them. The idea is, oh no, it's airtight. We can't do this. He's going to break it up for Francesca, and Olivia's going to go do her thing in Rome. But then they look through the records, and it turns out it's not Leone with an I, it's Leone with an E. And they find this out, and then they save the villa, and then everybody's together and doing all this shit. Yeah. Again, besides falling for Volante Placido, I don't really, or Violante, however the hell you say, Violet. I'm just going to call her Violet. Besides that, this movie really doesn't get anything right beyond the fact that it's generic and painful and just not very fucking good. So, nevertheless, agree, disagree with what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. It gets an F, by the way, but I'm going to bring on one more guest before I close. Somebody wanted to chime in about the fact that this was incredibly generic. Didn't you? See, I did my outro, and then somebody wanted in. So somebody's going to give their opinion about the fact that this just wasn't very good. So you understood why he fell for the mayor. You didn't like San Bernardo because you didn't think he was a fleshed out character. You didn't think any of this was going to work. It didn't. It didn't. And then I told you that all it was going to end up doing was just be programming, because that's what Netflix does. Netflix just does programming. Don't they? Don't they? Hey. So anyway, yeah, adopt, don't shop. By the way, I'm just going to say that before I'm done. But yeah, this movie, really bad. It gets an F, doesn't it? Okay, agree, disagree, what I said, like, share, subscribe, Twitter, Letterboxd, Blue Sky handles in the description. I'm John Ritland. This is Sir. Okay, geez. Anyway, I'll see you soon, guys.